The main thing is to protect these characters. Protect these characters. Protect these characters. Protect these characters. Make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them.
This week's news has Netflix at it yet again. When will they ever learn? Never, probably. Go on then, what is it? It's to do with the Queen's Gambit. Oh, what? No, the Netflix mini-series. What about it? Well, it pretty much cleaned up at the Emmys, winning 11 of its 18 nominations, including Best Limited Series. Wow. Yeah, but that's a good thing, right? I mean, all that.
The Queen's Gambit.
Winning an award or two, being sued for a cool $5 million, not so much. According to BBC News, chess icon Nona claims she was incorrectly portrayed in the hit series. The case refers to a sequence in the drama's final episode where a commentator says Nona, now 18, still raises sharp, never played competitive chess with men. The document, however, states that in 1968, which the episode is set, she'd faced at least 59 male players, 28 of them simultaneously in one game, including 11, count them, Grand Masters. Okay, so it wasn't that type of Grand Master, but it was still impressive. Anyway, Netflix responded by saying the claim had no, of course they did. Interesting enough, the lawsuit says the line was actually changed from the original book on which the series is based.
Little details, you want to make the character feel real.
Gosh, it gets worse. So what we have here is Netflix erasing the accomplishments of a real-life woman who accomplished great things in order to prop up the accomplishments of a fictional woman. I wonder how that makes other women feel. Now, I didn't even know this next thing was a thing until, popped up on YouTube. 3 names: Denzel Washington, Joel Coen, William Shakespeare. The film will see Denzel starring opposite fellow Oscar winner Frances McDormand, what is sure to be an epic retelling of the classic Shakespearean tale. Colour me intrigued. Speaking of, Daniel Craig recently... Wait, what? Wait, that's... Speaking of, Daniel Craig recently spoke to Radio Times about the current hot topic regarding who will be taking over the role of James Bond in the future, if in fact it will be James Bond. In an interview many think is nothing more than damage control, seeing as for the past year Lashana Lynch seemingly going out of her way in every interview to gaslight the producers into giving her the role permanently.
Permanently?
Yeah, as opposed to temporarily, which she's rumoured to be doing in the first half of the movie.
To be in the Bond franchise means that I'm making shifts that should have shifted a long time ago.
Ah, yes, so true. So very true. I mean, it's not like Halle Berry played a similar role first, mind you, way back in 2002. Nope, you are the official glass ceiling breaker. Choreographs. Next to it, telling us this guy here is the first Asian action hero. Oh, come on. Now, as I've said before, I think a spin-off series of movies featuring her character would be a huge step forward for the franchise and for women. Imagine an entire super spy universe centered around Bond, rival spies from different countries, different organizations, interlocking storylines spanning across movies, TV, novels, video games, audiobooks, but no. Let's reboot the franchise from the beginning and stick a woman in the role. Stick it to the patriarchy. Now you can guarantee if Bond was an American character, it would have happened long ago.
The power of pain compels you! Ow!
But I digress. The question was put to Craig, who, to be fair, in the past has been pretty vocal, not to mention visual with his support for gender equality in Hollywood. The actor had this to say: "The answer to that is very simple. There should simply be better parts for women and actors of color. Why should a woman play James Bond when there should be a part just as good as James Bond, but for a woman?" Ah yes, sounds like an argument I've heard before. Again, forced diversity. I heard that.
I would rather do something original. Really?
Nope, can't remember. Anyway, now, further on in the article, Craig does go on to address the involvement of a one Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
How about you have a go at me, you lumpy brute? Help free!
Yeah, that's her. She's a writer, actorist with a particular set of skills.
Phoebe does such an amazing job.
Yep, she sure can move. Many fair is the one Bond villain he'll quite simply never beat.
She has a sort of rage that's fueled by injustice.
Plain to type then. Anyway, Craig had this to say: "She's got a devilish humour. Influence permeates a lot of this film. She walks that fantastic line, keeping it as a thriller and being very funny. Phoebe didn't come in to change Bond. Silly. I mean, she came in to spice it up for sure. She's a Bond fan. She wasn't about to take him in a different direction." What's wrong with you? Well, Mr. Craig, hopefully she's a bigger Bond fan than she is an Indiana Jones fan, considering what happened to that movie. But as always, time will tell. The movie's due to finally be released in the coming week. Look out for a review shortly after.
Never look a gift horse in the house. In the house?
Finally, another public slap in the face for the House of Mouse. This one coming somewhat unexpectedly, seemingly completely out of the blue. Turns out that the ex-wife of George Lucas has been directly quoted from a book as calling out the incompetence of a one Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams. Isn't that two? Namely, their mismanagement of the mega ex-cash cow franchise that was the Star Wars brand, calling into question a number of, let's face it, pretty dumb decisions they have made between them, from The Force Awakens to current day. She was quoted directly and willfully, I'll add, as saying, "I like Kathleen Kennedy. I always liked her. She was full of beans."
You can't handle a fart, you can't handle me.
Not sure that's what she... She was really smart and really bright, really wonderful woman, and I liked her husband Frank. I like them a lot. Now that she's running Lucasfilm and making movies, seems to me that Kathy Kennedy, J.J. Abrams don't have a clue about Star Wars. They don't get it. And J.J. Abrams is writing these stories. When I saw that movie where they killed Han Solo, I was furious when they killed Han Solo. Absolutely, positively, there was no rhyme or reason to it. I thought, you don't get the Jedi story, you don't get the magic of Star Wars. Getting rid of Han Solo. They have Luke disintegrate. They killed Han Solo. They killed Luke Skywalker. And they don't have Princess Leia anymore. And they're spitting out movies every year. And they think it's important to appeal to a woman's audience. So now the main character is this female supposed to have Jedi powers. Don't know how she got Jedi powers. Who she is. It sucks. The storylines are terrible. It's terrible. Awful. You can quote J.J. Abrams, Kathy Kennedy. Talk to me. Talk to me. I like when she said that. Wow. The beauty is, outside of Lucas himself, she's unquestionably the most qualified to put that entire Disney Star Wars group on blast, given that she's credited as the one who saved Star Wars pretty much from itself by utilizing her Oscar-winning editing skills to craft it into the cinematic masterpiece we know it as today. You know what? She was pretty much on the money with everything she called out. Which brings me to my next point. A growing number of articles highlighting women calling out these entertainment corporations, and I use the term entertainment ever so loosely, calling them out for their constant pandering BS. Seems in a modern day war of pop culture values, it'll take fire, among a few other things, to fight fire. Seems the only people who have any form of defense against these organizations are the very people that they claim to pander to. Good thing is, we're seeing this more frequently. More and more of these corporations are being exposed as time goes by. At the end of the day, they don't really care about your values, your identity, preferences. They only care about their bottom line. Don't be coerced into doing or being someone you don't want to. Be different. Be you. Be original, because Lord knows they're not. And if you're not happy about something, Speak up.
Speak up.
Speak up. Let your voice be heard. As for the entertainment industry, will it start entertaining again and turning a profit? Well, guess it's as good as mine. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Exercise some free will!
Leave him alone!